Hello friends, welcome to our channel Sports King, and today I'm going to show you some of the very good end games, and be ready for some encouraging chess for today. Today I have brought you an end game, Lucena Position. If you know about it, that's okay. If you don't know, don't worry, I'm going to show you the correct variations, how you are going to solve this and win in this position, and it's a very interesting puzzle, don't worry. And before that, I want to request you something, that those who have not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe it. Friends, I'm going to provide you with some really good interesting chess material in the future upcoming videos, and maybe I'm planning to provide you with the materials also. So those who have not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe it, I request you. This is the quarantine period, COVID-19 is going on, and I want to request you all to be safe and be at your home. So right now over here in this board, you can see that this white king is over here on the 8th square, this pawn is on the b7 square, and it is just about to queen. But the problem is that this whole A rank is occupied by the rook, and both the kings are very close to each other, and neither of any of the king can come over here, neither the black or nor the white king can come over here. So how you are going to make winning moves over here, this is the problem. So let's suppose pause the video over here and try to find out the solution from your side. I hope you have paused this video and solved this, and if you have not, the correct variation I'm going to show you. So from here, the white rook gives this check from the d1 square. Now all these squares are occupied by this king, and this d file is also occupied by the rook, so black king needs to leave this. So obviously he is going to leave it over here or on that square. So after that, there is a winning move that I'm going to tell you what is the winning move. Before that, I want to show you something, like if he moves over here, there is a variation, and let's suppose if you give a check, because on the very next move this is becoming queen, so obviously black side is going to give you the continuous check like this. You come over here, this check comes, and again this check is there, so you have to evacuate from here, and obviously you cannot come here because this pawn is hanging over there, so you will come over here and this check, and the problem is same, you cannot go this side because the pawn is hanging, so you have to go back side. So for that we go back side, and so for that, from now here on, again I'm telling you the best move. So after this position, you have to bring the rook over d4 square. That's the key move. Yes, rook to d4 is the key move over here. Why it is the key move? The reason being is that you will know after some of the moves. Let's see, if the king moves over here, now you have to bring your king over here so that this pawn can go forward. Now this check will come, you can come over here, this check comes, you can come over here. The problem is same, you cannot come on the c5 square as the pawn is hanging, so you have to go on the c6 square. And after this check, now the key move of our rook on d4, our rook can come on in between this check, so now this check is not a valid thing over here, and obviously this pawn is promoting towards the queen. And after this capture and capture, this black king is far away from this pawn, and it is going to be queen very soon. So let's see one more variation over here. In this situation, what you have to do is, let's suppose you give the check, he moves his king on the e7 square. Now let's suppose what you do, you make the movement of the rook on d4, and let's suppose the another variation is he moves his king towards your rook, and this time obviously you are going to vacate the b8 square for the pawn. So what you will do, you will move your king to the c7 square. Now the obvious moves which are seen over here is the rook c2 check, but instead what he plays is king on e5. After that, two options are there, either you make the queen or save your rook. What you are going to do, let's suppose you make the queen, then he is going to capture the rook, and it will be an end game in which you will be having the queen and the black side will be having the rook. And although you are winning, but I will say it's not so easy, as in the Lucena position you can win very easily. So what you have to do, you have to make a move that is save your rook. you have to make a move like rook b4. After rook b4, now your pawn is supported by the king as well as by the rook. Obviously he's going to give the check on rook c2. Rook c2. After that you have to make a move on king b6, and there is no possible way for the black side to stop this b7 pawn in becoming a queen. Now let's see another variation. He makes another move, that is rook on a7. After rook a7, the problem is you cannot promote your pawn as rook is pinning your king, and that's why obviously you have to remove this rook over here. So what you are going to make a move, there is one correct move. You have to make the move king b6, not king b8, because this square is you need basically. So obviously king b6 is the correct variation. After that he needs to remove this, he needs to vacate this square a7, and he is going to move it on a1, a2, a3 or some other square, but the queen will be there after very next move. So let's see one more variation. This position, if you are white, how to defend this position, we will discuss that. So in that situation, what you have to play is, after this position, if you are, let's say you are black, and obviously you know that you are losing in this side, but you need to hold on the position. So what you will do, you have to make some moves, and that is make the rook move like rook on c2, and after rook c2 he is obviously going to make a move on king b6. Now if again you give the check, he is obviously going to move king c6, and in this situation what you need to do, on the very next move there is no direct threat of queen, as it cannot become a queen as there is no support on the b8 square. So what you can do, you can make a trick over here. That trick is play king on e5, you might win. So in this situation, if let's suppose he plays like this, then there comes a very tactical move from the black side. What you can do is try to predict that move. I hope you predicted that move. You have to capture this, and after that if he captures this, you can capture his rook, and it will be an end game. It will be a draw. And let's suppose he tries to become an over smart guy. You can, after giving this check, you can save your king on e4 square, and there is no direct way of capturing, because king is overloaded. Either he can save his king, either he can save his rook or capture our rook. If he captures, you can capture back. Okay, so it will be a draw. Now one more thing, friends, in this situation what happens is, actually this Lucena position is basically almost same for all the files: b file, c file, d file, e file, f file and g file, but except two files, that are a file and h file, that is the rook files. On that position, if your pawn is on a7 square or h7 square, and if you are black and something like your pawn is on a2 or h2, then the position is somewhat different, and that I'm going to show you in the very next upcoming videos. So please do subscribe the channel so that you will be notified when I'm going to upload that video. I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching.